G'day all. So pulled the pedal box out, master cylinders are attached, balance bar attached. Nice and easy to work on the bench, and I thought I'd have a look around, a bit of a play after our my previous videos. Still got the 0.75 sitting here at the moment. I thought I'd show you a couple of things I've noticed. First of all, that the push rods are nice and even in terms of length, so it's not longer in the front versus the rear or vice versa. The balance bar is set 50-50, so 50%, 50%. So we're fairly even in the split. And I have got the 1/8 of an inch gap as required between the clevers here and the pedal. So it's got enough play. If I take the pressure off the pedal, you can see that there's a lot of easy play there, which is good, which is what it needs. The only thing I've noticed, and I guess, is that this balance bar adjustment normally sits behind the accelerator pedal just like this, but it's quite tight, yeah? So I've got the inner wheel arch here, just sitting right here, so it's pushed up against like this. And what it means is that it's pushing towards the rear as a bias. So if I push against the bar, let it go, you can see it keeps pushing back. So I think that might also be having a bit of an impact. So if I've got it set fairly neutral, then it's constantly pushing to the rear. Now, I don't know how much of a difference that's really going to make. It's probably only 1/8 of an inch, as we said. But I guess if I adjust the balance bar, then it's always having a slight impact. The other thing is the pressure that's on this cable. I'm wondering whether when you put your foot down, that the pressure of this cable is just sort of holding back this pin. So even though the pedal pushes, it's holding back this push rod just that ever so slightly, giving that one a bit more play, and that one's going first, which is the rear. So I'm going to probably remove this balance bar, try and get the balance set pretty right from the start, maybe make an adjustment later on if I can, and then set it, put on the locking nut and lock it in tight. Having a chat to one of the guys from Wheelwood, sort of trying to find out also what master cylinders I should use. He suggested that I should probably go the 5/8 rather than the 0.75s, at least 5/8 on the front, 0.75 on the rear, or if you want to run both 5/8 on the front and rear. But his biggest thing was to say that, which I found interesting, is that you make this push rod for the front slightly longer than the rear. So either move this one in, that one out, or that one out and just leave that still. He said because what you want to do is effectively push on this master cylinder first, which then will apply force to the front brake first, hopefully getting the front brakes to bite. Now the front brake calipers have got bigger cylinders, so they're going to need more fluid, so you definitely want that to push more fluid first. Now if it's 0.62 or 5/8, then the pressure is higher, which means it's softer on the pedal, but it also has more pedal travel, so which is good because it's just too tight at the moment, too short. So I definitely want to do that. He goes, and then you adjust the bar after that. So I'm interested to see whether this free play push rod makes a difference, and then setting the bar will be a winner. So hopefully that's the case. I guess in terms of diagnosis of the actual the 0.75s, where I thought maybe have they got an internal leak, I haven't been able to pull that apart, but there is on the front a slight bit of brake fluid, very minor. Just very minor. I can sort of feel it. Versus the rear one has got it's got a lot more actually. So as you can see, there's a lot more on this rear one, which surprised me given the creaking seems to sound like it's coming from the front. So I don't know whether the bias adjustment, why I think it's going to the rear, is necessarily because it's internally failing. Maybe it's not failing at all, and maybe it's just purely binding up somewhere in here. And the fact that I've got the same master cylinders, the same push rod length, and a balance bar even, it's probably naturally just going to go to the rear. So even if I adjust to the front, it was just sort of playing up. So I'm just wondering whether the binding was the big problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go the 0.62, 5/8 on the front, 7.5 on the rear, adjust the rod, then get the balance right and see what happens. So I'll do that. Probably take me a few goes in and out with the pedals. It's going to be a bit painful because I have like a plate across the top. The pedal gets here, the accelerator pedal's here, this won't be here. So to adjust it, I'm going to probably see if I can do it while it's in the car. If not, I'm going to have to disconnect it, adjust it, put it back in, bleed it, test. So it's a bit of a painful process. I hate doing things 5-6 times, so unfortunately this might have to be that way. So anyway, I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know what works out to be the best scenario and give you an update at the end. But until then, we'll catch you soon. Cheers.